be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Woo! Okay. Separate oil and states. Stop the pipeline, stop the hate.
Separate oil and states. Stop the pipeline, stop the hate. Separate oil and states. Stop the pipeline, stop the hate.
Listen to our warning. Stop global warming.
Listen to our warning. Stop global warming. Listen to our warning. Stop global warming.
When the air we breathe is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the water we drink is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the earth we need is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do?
Stand up, fight back.
My name is Hannah. I'm with Climate Justice Edmonton. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about a campaign that we've been running over the past year and in the lead up to this provincial election, which is an Alberta Climate Court campaign. So, I mean, kind of in this moment, I'm really frustrated. I'm sure you all are as well, that climate isn't an election issue whatsoever. It's not something that's really being talked about. All we're hearing about is more fossil fuels, hydrogen, false solutions, that kind of stuff. And at the same time, like today it's looking nice, there's still fires, but we've had a few weeks of horrendous fires and smoke here, and that's just kind of the beginning of the season. So yeah, it's a hard place to be in. And we deserve better. We deserve political parties that will take action on the scale that is needed, that will talk about it, that will help implement solutions. And so one proposal that we've been pushing for is an Alberta Climate Corps, as what we think is a really reasonable solution to help kind of get us to work taking action on the climate crisis. So a Climate Corps would be a publicly funded green jobs program that would fund low carbon unionized jobs, provide work for anybody who wants a job. And a Climate Corps would be led by province, municipalities, and Indigenous nations and create these jobs for both new and existing workers, prioritize the recruitment of local workers, and emphasize employment for LGBTQ, Black, Indigenous, racialized, immigrant, low-income, and disabled communities and workers. And so these Climate Corps jobs will be far-ranging. They would, of course, include kind of the first things you think of about energy transition, like solar installation, building retrofits, environmental restoration, remediation, regenerative agriculture, but it will also include other low-carbon work that already exists, like, for example, healthcare, care work, education. And these are sectors, too, that we know are really suffering under years of cuts and austerity budgets. And so we would see a huge, Climate Corps would put a lot of investment and expansion into these sectors, and in creative ways. So, for example, the Canadian Union of Postal Workers has been running a campaign for quite a few years called Delivering Community Power, which one of their proposals, among others, is that postal workers in more remote communities, but anywhere, could do like check-ins to the elderly or other people in the community that need it as they're delivering the mail. So kind of that, we thought that was a pretty creative solution. And so things like that, kind of thinking beyond the norm and how we're caring for other people in our communities as part of a Climate Corps is really, really key to the program as well. And I was thinking, so for myself, I'm a visual artist and art instructor, and we've had times when we're like imagining, okay, what would your Climate Corps job be? What would your Climate Corps job be? And for me, I would love a job where I could work as a community engaged artist, working with people, kind of helping them navigate and explore the cultural and the emotional impacts of living in this era as part of a Climate Corps. Because it's not, again, not just like the technical work, there's the social work, the community work, the care work, the emotional work, and a Climate Corps, again, can encompass all of these different areas of our society, and providing good jobs for people. So fighting climate change, we're taking care of our communities, but we'll also be doing so with fair wages, benefits, pensions, and pathways to stronger education. So Climate Corps can offer educational grants, job training or retraining, and pathways to and from post-secondary education for people. A Climate Corps could allow Indigenous nations to lead the path forward through self-determination and traditional knowledge, and that Indigenous communities can lead and direct projects, and that with their Indigenous nations can lead projects with their rights and sovereignty respected and free, prior, and informed consent fully implemented. It could mean, a Climate Corps could mean that Albertans get to keep living in their communities and invest in strengthening their own communities rather than being forced to leave the province for jobs elsewhere or forced to leave their rural community for a job in the city. Yeah, especially at this moment when no one's offering any vision for climate action or meaningful work for people to stay in Alberta, a Climate Corps could turn the page on that and really give people motivation for meaningful work and a reason to stay in their communities. So we think a Climate Corps is possible. Albertans have shown before and time again that they're ready for bold climate policies. In 2019, there was 10,000 of us here rallying for accelerated action. I know COVID has really kind of took the legs out of this movement, or like the number of people that were showing up, and that's something that we're conscious of, and we're trying to kind of find things that will engage people or kind of do a slow build up and also put pressure on. So far, we'll see what the outcome of the election is and kind of what our strategy will be moving forward. But regardless of who's elected, we'll be pushing for climate action, climate justice in this province in a way that really puts workers first and helps take care of workers and build stronger and more resilient communities through that process of taking climate action. So again, yeah, thank you for letting me speak and for gathering us all here today.
I love using this thing. Okay, so my name is Tori. I'm 19. I'm a student at the University of Alberta, and I'm a member of Edmonton Youth for Climate. We all know why we're gathered here. We all know our feelings on why we're gathered here. We're gathered here while active early voting is going on for our legislators, and while the climate continues to dwindle and our legislators seem to be putting it on the back burner. And we're here to demand and urge our current and future leaders to take action. We must address a solid and hard truth. Our declining climate and its impact on food scarcity, forest fires, wildlife, and more will continue to propel itself forward, whether our governments acknowledge it or not. If we ignore it, the problem does not go away. It only worsens. So, we must demand that our governments take the first step and acknowledge the problem in a meaningful way, and then take immediate, large action. The time for talk and empty words on climate justice is over. It's been over. The time for climate action is right now. Right now. The climate crisis is political. In this time of our lives, during an election, and as the climate clock counts down the number of years, days, minutes, and seconds left to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions enough to give the Earth a 67% chance of keeping the world under 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming. The need for political climate action has never been more necessary. To solve an issue of this magnitude, we must agitate for systemic change. We, as Albertans, must work for those aligning themselves to serve in the environment's interest and demand those governments work for us, Albertans. This is why we urge you, as individuals, to get involved with your government body. Of course, through voting, if you're legally able to do so, but also through phone calls, emails, petitions, and through conversation. Conversation and connection between human beings is immensely powerful. It's the most powerful thing we can do as people, truly seeing each other and truly hearing each other. We must become comfortable with the uncomfortable through talking and allowing ourselves to learn and the grace to learn. We also must recognize that the same oppressive systems that enable and exacerbate the climate crisis are often used to silence and oppress other groups. Indigenous people have been fighting the climate fight for much longer than most here in Canada, and we must be diligent in uplifting and supporting their cause. Finally, thank you for being here and continuing to expend your energy and your time and your presence with us. And for young people, for older people, for everyone, for Canadians, for non-Canadians, everyone across the globe, we need us, we need people like you to demand the people in there listen. We need it. So please, please, please allow yourself the grace to learn, to be there, to show up. And please, please, please take care of yourselves. Thank you. Thank you so much.